Now, the British Prime Minister speaks of an imminent terrorist attack following the deadly bombing in Manchester.
But it is a possibility we cannot ignore that there is a wider group of individuals linked to this attack. It is now concluded, on the basis of today's investigations, that the threat level should be increased for the time being from severe to critical. This means that their assessment is not only that an attack remains highly likely, but that a further attack may be imminent.
Theresa May said the Secretary of Defence had approved deployment of military personnel to help police guard key locations and public events. She described the new security plan as proportionate and sensible, pledging to take every necessary measure to protect the public. The remarks come after British police identified Manchester's bomber as 22-year-old Salman Ramadan Abedi. The suspect was a British citizen of Libyan origin. The 22 people, including children, were killed on Tuesday when Abedi blew himself up at a crowded concert hall in Manchester. Let's speak to Tony Gosling. He's an investigative journalist and he joins us via Skype from Bristol. Many thanks for joining us here on Press TV, Mr. Gosling. Now, we have the terror threat raised to severe. Now, also at the same time, Operation Tempora has been enforced. That is more snooping by the government. Military personnel will be patrolling streets. This sounds like a state of emergency.
Well, the terror threat has actually been raised to critical, which is the highest level you can have in Britain, and that was, I think, pretty not surprising today to hear that. But look, there's been some incredible, strange parts of this attack. I think the first of all is how very quickly the British police, and for that you have to read, it's a kind of moniker really for MI5, the Internal Security Service, and Special Branch, who take over in situations like this, and the anti-terror police, who work very, very closely with the secret services. So it's really them that's saying that this is a suicide bomber, although it's quite feasible that somebody has blown themselves up or left a bomb somewhere very close to somebody else. So we've got lots of eyewitnesses who are saying there also were multiple reports, several explosions, more than one certainly. One eyewitness is reported today in the British press saying there were 5 or 6 bangs. It sounded like gunshots. That's just one of the several reports. So, you know, this is, I think it's premature for the police to be calling this a suicide bombing. It's very feasible that somebody may have, you know, obviously somebody has died very close to this bomb, but whether it was actually them that triggered it, no reports of anyone shouting Allah Akbar as you often get. The other extraordinary thing is the appearance of this individual's ID at the scene. The same sort of pattern as we've seen in other attacks like 9/11, where the passport flutters down, and it's what the point of that seems to be that it's very, very easy and quick for the police to name the person. So they look like they're on the case. They can very quickly say that this is a particular type of terrorist attack. Quite clearly, it is a terrorist attack. It's just a question of who's done it. The main suspect again is dead. There will be no court case of him. There'll be no trial. That also means that there will be no questioning of the police. I mean, you have to, I would have thought, wait for the CCTV footage. For example, the biggest terrorist attack so far in Britain was the 7/7 London bombings in 2005. No CCTV footage was ever produced putting those bombers on the actual trains and on the actual buses. And as anyone in London knows, all the trains have got cameras everywhere, and on the station platforms and on the buses themselves.
Right.
So police do lie. We've seen this in the 7/7 bombing, saying that these people were clean skins, but they've been following them for years.
Right. Now, Mr. Gosling, a lot of it goes back to how the media portrays this as well. Now, just in recent memory, when you look at the Westminster attack, there was criticism by many that the media, specifically the mainstream media, wasn't asking these questions.
No, that's right. And also, they're not asking questions about the timing of this. Very similar to the terrorist attack, which turned out to be a fascist right-wing attack around about a year ago, just 10 days or so before the Brexit vote. In the referendum, a Labour MP, Joe Cox, was murdered around about 10 days before the vote.